Welcome to the Spiritual AF Life Podcast, a magical place where your host, Heather Danielle, psychic medium, will bring the mystical woo-woo world down to earth in practical ways. Tune in every Monday for your weekly reading and on Wednesdays to hear fascinating conversations with spiritual experts, uplifting stories, and deep dives into the metaphysical world, all to help you tap into the invisible guidance that's all around you. It's time to start living a spiritual AF life. Get cozy, the conversation is starting now.
Thanks for joining me on today's episode where we're going to be talking all about energy vampires. I am going to be going over the 5 different types of energy vampires that you need to look out for. And I'm going to be talking about the strategies and giving you some tools so that you can deal with these energy suckers in your life. And you also might be able to look back, I know I have, and be able to see if you were once an energy vampire or if somebody else used to be an energy vampire and they have changed their ways, or if you are dealing with an energy vampire right now. So let's get right into it. We're going to dive in. So what in the world is an energy vampire? An energy vampire is someone who drains your freaking energy. This means that when you're talking with them, when you're hanging out with them, even when you're just looking on their social media, you can start to feel symptoms of being drained. I mean, you're going to feel exhausted, overwhelmed. You might even feel anxiety. So we're going to be going over some of those symptoms, but just to give you a heads up, that is how you feel usually when you've encountered an energy vampire. We're going to dive right in now to the 5 different types, which is the first one, which is one that I feel like everybody has noticed in their life in one time or another. I bet you right now in your life, you have this energy vampire, and that is the chronic complainer. This is going to be someone who is always negative. They are going to be almost like the Eeyore, but like not as cute inside of your life. They are always going to be seeking validation for their misery. They are not going to want solutions to get out of their misery. They just want to keep standing there and talking to you and complaining about how everything is going wrong. They don't want any solutions to any of their problems. They literally just want to like either vent or they just want you to also agree with them and how bad their life is or how bad whatever it is. Okay. So they just dwell in their unhappiness. Do you know somebody that's like that? I know I have. I've had that person that no matter what advice I give, no matter what I do, they go ahead and they are just complaining. It's like they don't want any help. And that is the number one type of vampire that I have been seeing a lot of lately. And so we'll get into the symptoms, but when you are around them, and especially after you leave them, you are just going to feel like crap. And here's the thing is they actually might feel a lot better because now they have gotten all that crappiness off of your chest, off of their chest. And now you are like, this sucks, you know? So let's go on to the second one, which is narcissist. So if you are an empath, if you're somebody who's very sensitive, then you are going to know exactly what I'm talking about because empaths draw narcissists like moths to a freaking flame, all right? And narcissists are going to be those people who are self-centered. They are all about themselves. They're always manipulating conversations to make it about themselves, usually. They don't really have any empathy for anybody else. They literally are just really, really self-involved. Now, sometimes they can grow into narcissism. Sometimes this is the way that they were born. You know, maybe sometimes too, they just have like narcissistic qualities. I have seen that as well. But this is going to be somebody where it's like, no matter what that you're going through, they're going through something worse. They make it all about themselves. They try to go ahead and they are just very manipulative. I think that in order to understand the way that a narcissist works, you have to have experienced it because they are very intelligent and they're able to manipulate the way that people think and also how people say things too. And then they're able to just tie it up in a better bow. So then when you go and try and get validation to somebody else, like, oh, is this person not a narcissist? It's really difficult for you to relay, what was going on because they do it sometimes in such an elegant manner that you're like, it's hard to explain. So, but narcissists are freaking energy vampires. And that is one thing that I feel like a lot of people don't know because when you come away from a narcissist, and we'll talk a little bit more about this, but you are going probably to feel like your energy is freaking drained. You're going to be feeling maybe a little bit like like this feeling of yuckiness in you. You also might feel too like you've lost some of your power, that you've lost some of your energy, almost as if because they were kind of like overbearing in a way. But we're going to move on to number three. This is another one that I know that you probably have in your life right now, and that is a drama queen or drama king energy vampire. Did you know that energy vampires are also drama queens and drama kings? Like this could literally be one of the people that you have been surrounding yourself with. So these are the people who are going to be blowing things out of proportion. They're making big deals about everything. They drag other people into the situation. Have you ever had like a family member or friend and they are like trying to like make a mountain out of a molehill or whatever, and then they try to bring you into it by saying things like, "Oh, well, they said this about you. Oh, yeah, well, they said this about this, and that's what you do." So, like a lot of times people try to get me involved with the drama by going ahead and saying, "Oh, well, they said this about spirituality, or they said this about the work that you do, or they are saying that or that." Yeah, just don't make yourself available. Literally, don't make yourself available for it. But like I said, we will talk about some of those symptoms and things that you could do coming up. But it's really good to notice these people and to recognize that this person is in your life right now and that they are not probably meaning to, but they're sucking your freaking energy. And that's another reason why that you're feeling fatigued, when you're feeling whooped, and you're maybe even feeling like depressed as well, because these people are in your life draining your freaking energy. So watch out for those drama kings and drama queen energy vampires. All right. Now, another one is going to be the ones who are victims. These are the ones that they are always about the world is out to get me. Everything is going wrong in my life, and there's nothing that I can do about it. They do not take ownership for their own choices, their own decisions. It's always that somebody else made them do it, or they are a product of their environment. They are a product of life. They are just like, hey, I got Delta SHIT sandwich and I just got to live with it. But they don't like live with it. They don't become empowered or better. They just go ahead and they stay in their own little, how do I say this, lower vibrating thoughts and that kind of thing. They have a constant need for support and reassurance. Nothing is ever their fault. Okay. This is somebody that's like, oh no, there's nothing I could do about it. There's, other people, they're the ones that did it. They're the ones I had no choice and stuff like that. You always have choices in life. You always, 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 always do. It just might not be the ones that you want to make and things like that. But you and I feel like we know this, but that energy vampire, they don't know it. All right. They don't know that they are that way. And I do really feel bad for the victim energy vampire, just because I know that a lot of them in my life, I know that they don't mean to be a victim sometimes. It's just that, they've had a hard life, or they've had a rough end of the stick kind of situation. And so sometimes I just feel like, okay, I have a lot of compassion, probably more so than all the other ones, for the victim energy vampires, because they know what it's like to be a victim and they don't want to victimize anybody else. And that's what they're doing. They're victimizing us when they're draining our freaking energy and making us feel like crap when we're around them. All right, so number 5 is the controlling energy vampire. This is going to be somebody who is going to be all up on you about how you should think, how you should feel, like how you should act, how you should behave. The oftentimes like overbearing. You might have to walk on eggshells around them. They also might be very close-minded, and it's like almost like you feel like crap when you're around them, because you also might feel like things are never good enough. It's their way or the freaking highway. They might be like, quote, the old dog who can't learn new tricks, that kind of situation. And it might just be extremely draining for you, because, you might be trying really hard to please them, or you might just be, just trying to live life, and then they're just making it so much more difficult for you. And that is a a energy vampirism. That is one of them. And I know some of them that are in my life, and it's like they might not mean to do it, but does it still mean that they're not draining my energy? Now, I said I was going to go over those 5, and those are the 5. Okay, so we do have the chronic complainer, the narcissist, the drama queen, victim one, and the controlling one. But I do want to give you another little bonus one, number 6, and nobody ever thinks about this type of energy vampire. Nobody ever thinks that children are energy vampires, because those are the littlest and sometimes the cutest little freaking energy vampires there are. They suck your energy out like there is no tomorrow. And you know what? They suck your energy out and they're freaking happy about it, okay? That is one of the worst freaking energy vampires ever. All right. So I worked with children for so many freaking years. And my specialty was for children under the age of 3 specifically. And really inside of that, 6 weeks to about 2 years old, 1.5, 2 years old time frame. And even they are really bad energy vampires. But as they get older, they are becoming the worst energy vampires. They suck you out. Not only do they suck you out of energy because, they cannot fend for themselves, they cannot physically take care of themselves, but they also are sometimes they're cute as a button, but sometimes they're manipulative. Don't underestimate any child, even if they cannot talk yet. They know better. They are smart, okay? You would not believe half of the things that I have experienced inside of a childcare classroom. Those little stinkers know better and they know how to work you, okay? And so if you are a grandma, if you're an aunt, if you're a mom with little ones or nieces and nephews and stuff like that, just watch yourself around them, okay? That is the reason why the teacher burnout is a real thing. That is the reason why that they're probably in need of way more pay than they are actually given, because not only are they taking care of children and educating them and things like that, but they are literally getting their energy drained every single day to a severe degree. That's the reason why it's so super duper important for, childcare workers and teachers and the alike to go ahead and fuel up their cup, okay? Because those little suckers, man. If you have kids or if you worked with kids, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And sometimes it's nice, to share their energy, and to share it with them. But the thing is that out of all these energy vampires, I will have to say that children are the worst energy vampires just because they drain you on a physical level, a lot of times way more than the other energy vampires, but definitely the mental and also very much so the emotional level. All right, so let's get to some strategies. First off is boundaries. Okay, so that is going to be the number one thing. And you probably heard this before, and you might suck at boundaries, but that's okay. There's some little things that you can do to go ahead and structure your life to where you can set better boundaries without being confrontational. So, the very first thing that I want you to do is anybody that you're really thinking about right now when I'm talking about energy vampires, I want you to unfollow them from social. All right. And you'll be like, well, Heather, when they go ahead and they post, they're going to get mad at me. So you have two options there. You can go ahead and just spend once a day, once a week, and you go to their profile to like or comment. All right. So you are setting this intention, this boundary, right? That, okay, on Mondays at 9 o'clock, I'm going to go into their profile and I'm going to like and comment it so I don't hear any CRAP from them. That's the first thing, the option you could do. The second option that you can do is not freaking worry about it. You know how many people that I've unfollowed inside of my Facebook and especially
Thanks for tuning in to the Spiritual AF Life podcast.
Say, oh, the algorithm
You'll find all the links to resources and more in the show notes. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on the incredible episodes that are coming up.
Pet peeve is when people are like, oh, my social media is too negative, so I have to stop social media. It's not social media's fault. No offense. And this is some tough love right now. It's your fault. It's your fault that you have to stop social media because you're the one that doesn't have good social media freaking boundaries. You need to take care of you. It's not social media's fault. It's your freaking fault. Okay. So you need to, if people are posting crap about politics and you don't like it, freaking unfollow. You don't even have to unfriend them. They don't even know that you're unfollowing them. All right. And then how about this? If you can't do that, here's a third option. Okay. Spirit gave me a third option for you. And I know it's from Spirit because I didn't think of this until right now. And that is go ahead, go on social media and start following a lot of really, 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 really cool accounts that make you happy and uplift. And I mean, I want you to I want you to follow, I want you to comment, I want you to do all of that with a whole bunch of freaking accounts. Okay. Because then what's going to happen is that it's going to balance out your social media to where the good stuff is way more than the bad stuff. All right. So you're going to see way more of that. So I need you to follow and like and comment, change up your algorithm. inside of your social media, okay? And I'm really focusing on that social media aspect right now with the boundaries, because I feel like that's where a lot of people get caught up, because a lot of people I know are not really hanging out that much, in person. It's usually online. And the thing is that you can still get your energy sucked through the internet, through social media, through email. All right. So definitely working on those boundaries. Now, here's another thing is with boundaries too, we need to guard your freaking phone even when it's not on social media. So I'm talking about text messages from your friends and your family members who are energy vampires. So first off is that you are going to have to get busy maybe to where you can't pick up the phone every time they freaking call to vent to you. You're going to have to slowly start making your way to be unavailable. All right. That is the easiest way for people who are sensitive and empaths to do it, is going to be becoming less and less available. When they are sending you things through text message that you don't like, okay, maybe it's going to be a reel, maybe it's going to be some kind of other video that's about politics, religion, whatever it is that you don't like, then you know what you do? You don't respond. Or if you have to respond because your anxiety is going crazy, just give it like a like, just hold on to it and then just give it like a little heart thing. That's all you have to do. You were respectful. You went ahead. Maybe you did watch it, maybe you didn't, but you're still acknowledging that they sent you something. So that is starting to create those boundaries within your life. Now, I don't think anybody has a problem with them coming over, but that's just going to be something that you're going to have to be assertive with, all right? And you're going to be like, hey, I'm sorry, but you can't come over on Mondays anymore, or you can't come over on Tuesdays, or you can't come over after 3 o'clock. You can't come over today. You're going to have to start practicing it. I have noticed when I went through my own journey is that it was a lot easier for me to start off small and then work my way up. All right. So number one is boundaries. All right. Number two, you've heard this one before, but you're hearing it again. And that is shielding your energy. You're going to set the intention to shield your energy. People are like, but Heather, you shouldn't have to shield your energy. No, you shouldn't. But until you get really good boundaries, shielding is going to be key for you. Okay. So I want you to just imagine that your aura, that your energy field is protected by love and light. Okay. And that you only allow 100% love and light to come inside of your space. So that means that anybody else's CRAP and crappy energy can't come into your energy. If you allow people's yucky energy to keep on getting into your energy, it's going to mucky up your aura. Then your aura is going to go ahead and affect your chakras, your energy centers in your body. And those are going to stop spinning so good. It's going to suck. And then guess what's going to happen? You are literally going to get physical illnesses and disease within your body. That is a fact. And I'm not saying that it means all of a sudden you're going to get cancer, you're going to get something really crazy. No, but you're going to start noticing those physical things. So if you've already are noticing physical symptoms from somebody, then you're already like, you need to get a grip. You need to get on with it, all right? Because your aura protects your chakras protect your body. So if all of a suddenly, your body ain't doing good anymore, it could be because your energetic boundaries suck. So you need to start shielding. All right. So not only are you going to shield your body, okay, and your energy field, but I also want you to shield your phone, your TV. You can even practice this. You can shield your TV, unshield your TV. You can shield your husband, your wife, your partner, your kids. If I were to work with kids, again, right now, that is the number one thing I would do. Not only would I shield my own energy every single day walking into my classroom, but I would set the intention in my mind to shield every little freaking kid too, because they're just sponges. I wanted to see how that would work if I shielded them. Now, here's the thing. You might be like, well, Heather, you're shielding somebody else. Aren't you taking away their own, free will? You are not that freaking powerful, okay? You are not like the end all be all, okay? You are just setting your intention and you're giving a request to the spiritual world, to the one consciousness, to God, universe, source, okay? They're the ones in charge, not you, all right? So if I set the intention to go ahead and shield all these little rugrats that are running around, and that's not for their highest good, and that's not something that I should be doing, maybe that's not good for that day, then it won't freaking happen. You are not smarter than God's source creator. All right. So just chill a little bit. All right. You are a magnificent, amazing,
Thanks for tuning in to the
being.
Spiritual AF
But
Life podcast.
You do not
You'll find all the
rule
links to
the
resources
roost
and more
in some
in the show
areas like you
notes.
think you do.
Make sure you're
You do not
subscribed
know
so you
more than
don't miss
God.
out on the
If God
incredible
wants something to
episodes that are
happen,
coming
the
up.
universe wants something to happen, it's going to happen, whether or not you say it or not. Okay, so give yourself a little chill pill in that. Sorry, just had to say that just in case that was you. All right, number 3 is going to be grounding and recharging. All right, so when we talk about energy, that's a lot of fast movement. That's a lot.
Thanks for
of
tuning in
movement
to the
if it's
Spiritual
not fast,
AF
right?
Life podcast.
So you need to ground.
You'll find
you need to
all the
become
links to
of this
resources
earth.
and
You
more
need to
in the
be
show
still,
notes.
right?
Make sure
So
you're
that's going to
subscribed
be,
so you don't miss
going
out
ahead
on
and
the
walking
incredible
barefoot outside.
episodes
This
that are
is gonna be
coming up.
walking freaking outside, freaking hugging a tree, eating grounding foods. So
Welcome
go
to the
ahead
Spiritual
and
AF Life
ground
podcast.
yourself. I also
A
have a whole
magical
chapter of this
place
in
where
my
your
book,
host,
Anxiety to
Heather
Angels. The
Danielle,
links in the show
psychic
notes.
medium,
So if
will
you
bring the
need to
mystical
ground,
woo-woo
that
world
might be
down
something
to
that's
earth
really
in
good for you.
practical ways.
But also, while
Tune
you're
in every
grounding, setting the
Monday for your
intention to
weekly
help you
reading,
recharge.
and on Wednesdays
So
to hear
inside,
fascinating
it's all dead,
conversations
right?
with
So if
spiritual
you're watching this on
experts,
video, you're going to see the
uplifting
plants in the
stories,
video, and they
deep
are all
dives into
freaking
the
dead. They are not
metaphysical
living
world,
plants at all.
all
They
to
are
help you
fake,
tap
right?
into
So
the
when you go
invisible
outside,
guidance
that
that's
is when the
all
energy
around
is
you.
moving.
It's time
And
to
the
start
energy
living
is
a
life
spiritual
force,
AF
chi.
life.
I think prana
Get
is also
cozy.
what they
The
call it.
conversation
So
is
you need to
starting
go
now.
outside and recharge because it literally will
Happy
bring you
Eclipse
more
Day!
energy. All right, it will
Today
bring
is
it to
April
you
8th.
and
If you're
help you fill
listening
up your
to
body,
this
your cup,
episode the
your
day that it
mental,
comes
your
out,
emotional,
and I'm
and
so
also
excited
your
that today's
physical
energy
body.
hopefully
All
is
right, so
just
definitely
full
try
of
that out.
amazing
Number 4 is going
magic
to
that
be
you can
balancing
harness
it
for
out
this week.
with
In
better
fact,
people
I
in your life.
already
So
pulled
kind
the
of like how
cards
we
for this
talked
week, and
about
it's like
with
freaking really, really
the
cool
social
how
media
I
and
can
making
see this
more
week going
accounts,
for
that you
lots
follow
of us.
so that you
But if
don't
you are
have
not
like a
busy
yucky
tonight,
social media
then
anymore.
you
And
are
that's going to be the same
invited
thing, but in
to
your life.
our circle. So if you're part of
So
the
if you
academy,
have a
make
lot
sure
of
you
those complainers
RSVP.
or the
I
drama
will see
queens or
you
the
there
controllers
at
or whatever
circle
like that,
tonight.
get other
And
people
if
in
you're
your
not
life
part
who
of
are
the academy,
not energy
definitely check it out
vampires.
so that you
So
can
get
attend
some
with us.
new friends.
Because
And I know what
when
you're
we
saying,
meet
Heather, I'm too
for our
old. I
psychic
don't know
and
where to
mediumship
meet
development
people.
circle, like
I
we
know
are
it's a
going to
little
be doing
awkward
tonight
going up to people when you're an
during,
adult and saying, hey, you want to be my friend,
astronomical
but
events
you
like
can do
today,
it.
it can
And you
really
can do this by
just
joining meetup
bring
groups, going
out
to
that
meetup.com. Even
much
I have a
more
meetup group, all right? Going
intuition
on the
and
Facebook groups,
connection
going
within
on and going
ourselves.
to
And I think that a
patch.com if you
lot of
never heard of that.
times we
So
can
patch
actually
is
notice
smaller and it
this
can also tell
even
you what is
outside
going
of
on in your
our
local
psychic
community.
mediumship
Not every
development.
community
We can
has a
just see
patch, but that is
ourselves
another one.
on day to
You can go
day,
ahead
like
and,
today,
go
being
to your local
more
library, your
intuitive,
local community
a little bit
center,
stronger with our
going
gut
out to
instinct and
places,
kind
to
of
take a
knowing,
dance
what we
class
should do or
or to
shouldn't
take
do, and just
another
kind of like
class that or
realizing that we
workshop
are
where
just
you can
going in
meet
the
other
flow
people,
and
but you
we
need
are
to
making the
balance it out
correct
in your life.
slash
And if
right
you cannot make
choices.
new
All
friends,
right, so
then I
let's
want you
get
to
started
upgrade
with today's
those people in your
reading.
life that are not energy
You
vampires
cannot make
and
this
spend
up.
more time
I
with them.
know that you
So that
trust
means
me.
if you
It's
have
not
a
like I
brother or a
am,
sister or an aunt
choosing
or
the
uncle
cards that
who
I
is really
want
a
for this week.
major
Believe me, if I did, I
vampire,
would be like
then I
choosing all
want
the
you to
ones
go
about
ahead and
like
try and
freaking
find other
money
people.
and freaking
Like
free
maybe it's going to
trips
be
and
your
stuff like that. That's
cousin,
what I'd
maybe
be
it's going
freaking
to be your
choosing.
grandma
But
or
anyways,
grandpa, and spend more
the
time
card
with
that
them.
came up
All
for
right, there's
today
no
is the
freaking excuses
number
with spending
8.
time with people.
Is that
So
not
I
freaking
go
amazing?
ahead
Because it
and
is
every
April
single
8th right now,
Thursday, I
and the
meet
card
online
is
with my
teacher,
aunt,
and it says
actually my two
learning,
aunts,
and it
and
says a
sometimes my
new
uncle
path.
joins. And so
And
even
in
though
the
we might
guidebook,
not
it is
live
number
very close
44
and she
and
doesn't
number
like to drive and
45.
stuff like that,
But
we
the
still
44
meet
is really
on
standing
Facebook
out to me
actually.
because that is a
We
number
actually
that's
go
all
on to
about
Facebook Messenger and we
setting
do
a
video chat.
foundation
So there's
for
no freaking
financial
excuses. And they
success. So a
actually
lot of us might be having
do
these
that
kind of
every
opportunities or
single day. So
missing
every single
opportunities
night,
to get more
actually,
bang for our
my
buck.
two
Do not
aunts
sell
and my
yourself
uncle
short.
actually get
Okay, do
together and
not
they watch
allow
TV together
yourself to be
virtually through
victim
Facebook
of your
Messenger.
own
So
criticism and
no excuses,
scrutiny
right?
and things like
All
that.
right,
And this
so
could be for
here
anything,
are
whether
some
you have a
signs,
business
all
and you
right,
need to be
that
charging
you
more,
have
whether you work
been
with someone and,
blessed
or for a company and you need
with an energy vampire. Okay, so emotional exhaustion is number one. Number two is that you might be irritable, you might have anxiety, you might have physical fatigue, like you don't even want to get off the freaking couch, you might start lacking focus. It also might even make your ADD.
Thanks for tuning in to the Spiritual AF Life
and you
podcast.
also might just
You'll
have
find all
this
the links to resources and more in the show notes.
sensation
Make
that
sure
you
you're
just don't want to be
subscribed
around
so
them
you don't
anymore. You
miss
just
out
don't
on the
like them. And
incredible
other
episodes
people
that are
might
coming
like
up.
that. Other people might be like, I don't know why you have a problem with them. And then you're like, well, because you're more sensitive to freaking energy. And also, here's the thing is energy vampires subconsciously know who they can drain. right? And who they would get the most energy from, even on a subconscious level. They also go to people who are higher vibrating usually. So usually energy vampires are going to go to like maybe spiritual people, people who are positive, people who are happy, the caregivers, the lovers, the healers, all those kinds of people. Because number one, they have really good energy. They have really high energy, and they're going to suck all that great energy into their body. They're not going to really suck energy from depressed people, other energy vampires, other complainers, all those kinds of people, because the energy isn't good. And also, those people don't have a lot of energy. But if you are spiritually connected, if you're sensitive, if you are somebody who tries to be happy or tries to be positive and things like that, then you're going to have better freaking energy than the next person. It's almost like just think about yourself as like a food, And so energy vampires, they want the freaking cheeseburger, they want some freaking pizza, they want some like good stuff, they don't just want like rotten tomatoes and, whatever else, expired milk and things like that. No, they're gonna go for the good stuff, okay? And so if you're listening to this, I'm telling you, you probably have some of that good stuff, all right? So they're gonna want mwah, chef's kiss, all right? So here is some more tips for you. It is tools that can help you. I know that some people can get really wrapped around the axle with everything being in the mental inside of their mind. Sometimes it's really helpful sometimes to have like tangible things that can help you out. All right. So first one is going to be crystals, black tourmaline, amethyst, labradorite. Heard those are really, really good for energy vampires. So you could use this as some kind of bracelet if you want. You can wear it as a necklace, and also just setting the intention when you wear it that is the purpose it is going to be for. It is going to be to protect yourself against energy vampires, losing your energy. Okay. People also carry crystals in the bras, they carry them in their pockets, and then you can just carry that around. I think that you could just make it a daily habit, or if you know that you're going to see that person, then carry that crystal in on your person. All right, so number 2 is oils. So like lavender and also rosemary. I would actually take those oils and then put them in the wrist areas, like dap it on your wrist a little bit, or maybe even on your face so that you can smell it, so it can keep you calm and also keep you basically in the know of, hey, I really need to watch out for my energy right now. It also might help you remind you that you need to shield, and then just a lot of great benefits with essential oils. All right, so number 3 is going to be affirmations and mantras. All right, so this is going to be where you are going to say, I could love myself and I set healthy and happy boundaries. Do you love that? I love myself and I set happy and healthy boundaries. However that you want to say it, whenever you want to say it. You can make the intention that you're going to say this every time you go to the bathroom. You can say this every time that you go to bed, when you wake up, when you're around that person, and you'll just make it a freaking habit. And even inside of your mind, if you don't say it out loud, and it will help you. I'm serious. Intention is freaking everything. All right. So if you literally say to yourself every single day that you have happy and healthy boundaries and you're taking back your power, it is true what they say. Your brain will start to believe it, but your intention is everything. All right. So I hope that this helped out. I hope that you have gotten some insight on what energy vampires are, where they are around you, who is an energy vampire around you, what kind of energy vampire are they, and then also some of those strategies that we talked about, which one is really standing out to you, because I invite you to do 2 things right now. The very first thing that I invite you to do is to take whatever resonated with you, like one thing that resonated with you, the unfollowing on social media that we talked about, the shielding, the boundaries, the text messages. I want you to practice doing one of them ASAP. All right. Maybe you want to pause me, but ASAP. And the other thing that I invite you to do, if you haven't already, and this is an issue that you have, in the show notes is a link to my spiritual AF library. You may already have access, you may not. Okay. But go into the spiritual AF library. I want you to go underneath the section where it talks about empaths, and there is a book on energy vampires and things like that. The Empath's Guide to Thriving and all those kinds of things. So go ahead and look at that. It's completely free. So I would definitely encourage you to download those Empath books on energy vampires. There's little sections in there about energy vampires, and I think that you'll love them. So definitely check that out, and I will see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in to the Spiritual AF Life podcast. You'll find all the links to resources and more in the show notes. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on the incredible episodes that are coming up.